What's up, everyone? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to today's lesson. My name is Wes. This is Interactive English, which, of course, is the place that you want to be when you want to practice and improve your English skills. So today I have a very cool lesson for you. It's a lesson that I've been wanting to do for some time, and that is talking to you about English proverbs. So Proverbs are, they're nothing new. I think many of you might be familiar with some Proverbs, or you've heard them before, either on TV or watching a movie. So some of these, we'll see how many of these you know. But I want to take a quick moment and say hello to people that are joining us: Lali, Ali, Nasima, Naya Gosia, Camila Hassan, Wafi El-Jamin. Sorry again if I'm mispronouncing names. I'm trying to go through this quickly. Bertrand. If you're joining us, please, I really want to hear from you. Say hello in the chat. Write your name. Tell me where you're from. Tell me if this is your first time here, too. I love hearing from new people that are just discovering us. And even if you're watching this later, please write to us in the comments. Let me know your name, where you're from. I want to hear from you. I want to make that connection with you guys. So today, we're going to talk to you about Proverbs. So the first thing, again, just to answer the question, well, what are Proverbs? Just so you know, in case you have not heard this English word before. Well, a proverb, it is a well-known saying that states a general truth or just gives a piece of advice. So again, it's basically we use them to talk about a certain situation. Now, bonus points to anyone out there, for you guys that are here with me right now, bonus points. Who can tell me what movie is this from? I don't know if it's really an actual proverb, but it was in a movie from a while ago. I don't know how old many of you are, but bonus points if you can tell me which movie is this from. Write it in the chat. Just write the name of the movie. You don't have to complete the proverb. I'm curious to see if you know. If you don't know, I will tell you in a second. So again, Proverbs, they state a general truth or they state a piece of advice. Now, in the title of this, I had said, okay, well, this is going to help you sound more like a native speaker. The reason I said that is because I think we use Proverbs a lot to talk about a certain situation, and it's kind of like to capture the moment. And sometimes Proverbs are specific to certain languages, and they're even rooted in culture a little bit. So I'm often surprised. I take notice if I'm talking to an English learner or somebody who I know that English is not their first language. If we're having a discussion about a topic and they use a proverb, it always catches my attention. I always notice it. I'm like, oh, wow, okay, cool. Like it says something to me about their level of English and how well connected they are with the English language, the culture, because they're able to use it and use it correctly in the correct context. So that's something when I teach you the meaning of these proverbs, to really kind of give you an idea as to what context you're going to use it in. So yes. So many of you, Gosia Jr., Nguyen, Forrest Gump, Pablo, Darwin, excellent. Yes, this is from the movie Forrest Gump. It's a bit of an older movie now at this point. So yes, that's a proverb from that movie. Again, I don't know if it's a real proverb, but just wanted to kind of test your pop culture knowledge to begin with. So the way we're going to do this is, as we go through these, I'm going to make it a little bit of a quiz. So I'm going to give you the proverb, part of the proverb, and you have to try and complete the rest, all right? So it's going to be like multiple choice to see if you can, the reason I'm doing this is just to see if you can go ahead and identify the proverb, that this is something that you've heard, that's something that you're familiar with. So I kind of want to just check and see if you can identify it. So it's going to be a little bit of a quiz at that first part. And then I'm actually going to tell you the answer and tell you the proverb. I'm going to tell you what it means, and I am going to try and talk to you a little bit about the origin. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but so many times, many of you, when we've done lessons on idioms, people have asked like, well, where did this come from? Where did this start? And usually we don't focus on the origin, but because we're dealing with Proverbs, I've looked some of this up and I've given you the origin. Now, keep in mind that I think some of this is debatable. This is not like so many times you might hear something and people say, well, no, this person said it or this person said it. So again, this is just, I did some quick checking online to see what it said, and then this is what I found. So again, don't take this as like, oh, this is absolutely where it came from. You might find different things. But the reason, again, I want to highlight like why Proverbs are so important, because again, we use them all the time. Often when I teach Proverbs, people will tell me that, oh, we have a similar proverb in Mandarin, or they'd be like, oh, in Portuguese, yeah, it means the exact same thing, or they'd say, oh, this is how we say it in Spanish. So we have the Proverbs are used in all languages, so it's good to learn, well, what are some English ones? So the first one that I have for you is this, and I want you to just write your answer again. Write your answer in the chat, or even if you're watching this later, write your answers in the comments. We want you to, this is an interactive lesson. We want you guys to interact with us. So when in, Now, this is only part of the proverb, all right? It's not the whole thing, but most of the time when you hear it, you just hear this first part, when in, So what do you guys think? Write your answer, write it in the chat, write it in the comments. What city are we talking about when you might hear this proverb? And then I'll let you know. I think it is a bit more common, and you guys could tell me if it's the same in your native language, or maybe it's completely different. But yes, excellent. Awesome. Lali Wifi, so yes, when in Rome, exactly. In the full proverb, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Most of the time, and this is just my opinion, I think probably like 80 or 90% of the time, most people just throw out like when in Rome, because people get the idea. And what it means is that when you are visiting another country or another place, that you should follow their customs, you should follow their rules, you should follow their traditions, the people that live there. So for example, like when I lived in Korea and I would go out to eat dinner in Korea, the people use chopsticks. Growing up in the United States, we didn't often use chopsticks, but it'd be something like, okay, when in Rome, I should use chopsticks. I should follow that custom when having a meal. So that would be kind of an example, when in Rome. So again, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. When you travel, go somewhere, you should try and follow those customs. And again, I think this is so true. As many places as I've been, I've tried to always follow this and keep in mind, well, if this is not the way it's done in the United States, it doesn't matter. You should try to follow their customs, try and respect the culture and the traditions, and keep that in mind. And, when in Rome. The expression, if you want to know, it was found in a letter from St. Augustine in 390 AD. This information right here is probably not something you really need to know, but many of you have asked, like, oh, well, where do these come from? So that is where it came from. The next one. All right, are you ready? A picture is worth... Oh, wait, I just realized I see a mistake. Not if. It should be a picture is worth words. All right? How many words? What do you think? 100, 1,000, 1,000,000? All right? And again, that is a typo right there. I just realized it. It's amazing as you go through. I create these lessons. I create these slides. I go through them. I check them again. Like, okay, this is good. This is perfect. Yes, I got everything. And then as we're doing this, I'm like, oh my goodness. Simple mistake, all right? It should be is. A picture is worth words. What do you guys think, all right? This is a common one, I think. I think you people hear this all the time. So we're getting some different answers in here, but the correct answer is a picture. And again, I made the same typo on this slide. A picture is worth 1,000 words. That is the proverb that you will hear. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and it is the notion that, or the idea that a picture can provide more information than words, or that you can basically summarize some complex idea or thought with just a picture. You don't have to have this long written document to explain something. A picture can usually tell us a lot of information. Fun fact, as I was looking through this, it seemed like the original one was saying a picture is worth 10,000 words. But that was the earliest use. And then I came across this. It said, an early use of the exact phrase, as it is here, as people say it today, appeared in 1918 in a newspaper ad for the San Antonio Light. That is, I guess, the earliest they could find this exact phrase printed somewhere. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So again, that's just like, yeah, usually I feel like you might hear it in a TV show where somebody's like a cop show or something, a detective, and they got a picture of somebody, and somebody they see the picture, like, yeah, a picture is worth 1,000 words. That picture summarizes everything. It says it all. As to why they went 100, as to why they got 1,000, honestly, I have no idea. Like I said, I read that the original one, it seemed it was 10,000 words, but then what became popular is this one. A picture is worth 1,000 words. The next one that I have for you guys is this one, okay? Don't the hand that feeds you. Don't the hand that feeds you. I'm getting ready to have a daughter, so maybe later on in life, if I'm arguing with my daughter or something, maybe I might say this and say, hey, don't the hand that feeds you. What do you think? Bite, chew, or rip? Okay? And I think a lot of times, again, you can kind of put them in context based on what the statement is, and you can put the meaning in context. Yes, excellent. Thank you, Mary, Gosia, Saad, Arman, Catherine, Nguyen. All right. Yes, bite. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. And that just means if you tell somebody that, it's like you're giving a warning to them, like, hey, don't disrespect me. Because I'm the one who's helping you, I'm the one that's supporting you, I'm the one that's providing you some benefit. So it's saying, like, don't disrespect someone who is helping you or providing some benefits, all right? Like, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And this one, first seen in print in the 18th century. Wow, a long time ago by a political writer, Edmund Burke. So don't bite the hand that feeds you. It's a good one. I like it. Next one, I think this one, it's probably my favorite of all of them, and I think it's probably the most common one too. And I know that in other languages there is either a similar proverb or it's almost maybe the exact same. Don't judge a book by its What do you think? All right, write your answer in the chat. Again, if you guys are just joining us, we are talking about popular English proverbs that you are going to hear on TV, movies, and that depending on the conversation that you're having, that you can use as well to kind of throw that out there. And I think, again, I'm often impressed by that when I hear an English learner use a proverb, use it correctly. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, exactly. Don't judge a book by its cover. Yes, excellent. You guys rock that. Everybody got it. If you got that answer, hit that like button so that I know. And you're like, yes, I'm rocking this. So don't judge a book by its cover. I think, again, you could put that into context and get the meaning that you should not prejudge the worth or value of something or even a person based on the outward appearance alone. So you can use this talking about a situation. Like I said, you could talk about a person, that you shouldn't judge a person, whether they're a nice person or a mean person, based on the way that looks are. Don't judge a book by its cover. It's what's inside that counts. That's where the real value is, what's inside. And especially that's true for like a book, because the story is why you're reading a book. It doesn't matter what kind of cover it is on the outside. But this is, just so you know, the phrase is attributed to a 1944 edition of the African journal American Speech. You can't judge a book by its binding. That was actually the original, by its binding, and then it kind of changed into cover, and we have been using don't judge a book by its cover ever since. So that is, like I said, I think this is one of my favorites, and I think it's one that, yeah, we use quite often, or I like to say, because it's so true. It's so true. Quickly, I want to let you guys know again, you can check us out on Patreon if you haven't. If you like what we do and want to show us some love, check us out on Patreon. There are some cool rewards, and I will leave a link in the description for you guys to check that out. So again, if you are joining us a little late, we are talking about popular English proverbs, their meaning, and kind of the context in which we use them. So let's continue with our next proverb right here, all right? The grass is always on the other side. The grass is always on the other side. This is actually, I think, again, the full time, you might see it, the grass is always on the other side of the fence. Often, I think it's shortened to this. Sometimes it's even shortened just to say the grass is always What do you think? All right, the grass is always on the other side. So it depends on how you're looking at something. Somebody asked what the meaning is of binding. The binding is kind of what holds the book together, like its spine. So it's not the cover, the front of the book, but its spine that holds those pages together. So excellent, you guys. Wow, I think you know a lot of these. You guys are rocking them. I hope that you guys are able to use these in conversations if you're talking to somebody and throw these out there depending on the situation. But yes, the grass is always greener on the other side. You could make it the full proverb. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. I just often say it's like when in Rome. You kind of shorten it, you truncate it, and this one you say, yeah, the grass is always greener. And people know what you're talking about. They know based on the situation that you're speaking of, because it's talking about when people think the life or situation of others, it always looks better than their own. That, this situation is always better than their situation is always better than mine. And it's like, the grass is always greener, even if it's not true. Even if it's all in your mind that you think this situation, that this life is better, and you think the grass is always greener. This is so true nowadays with Instagram and the way everybody sees other people's lives, and they just see these pictures, these snapshots, and they're traveling, they're doing all these things, and people think, wow, oh my gosh, their life is so amazing, it's so wonderful. Except that Instagram is not true. It is not the actual reality of somebody's life. Even now, like, people will see us, like, because again, people want to post pictures of the amazing things in life, the cool things. Nobody really posts a picture of them like watching Netflix. But so again, this is really applicable today because of the way that we view each other based on the information that we have. The grass is always greener. Another example that I think of is when I've lived in different countries. I'll leave a country or something, and I'll go back to the United States. And when I'm in a country, when you guys are in a country, you start realizing that, like this doesn't work as well, or this is not how we usually do it. I wish it were like the other way. And then when you go back, all right, to your home country, you start to realize all the good things that actually existed there, because it's like, I didn't appreciate this when I was there. It's like, the grass is always greener. You don't know, and you don't know until you've gone that what was good, what was the better situation. So yes, this is great. This is a great proverb. I like using it. I also like using the next one, which is this one. What do you guys think? Heads are better than one. I think even if you've never heard of this, you could probably take a good guess and get the right answer. What do you think? 2, 3, or 4? What do you think? I mean, again, you can get the right answer, but again, think of the proverb. All right, you're talking to another person. What would somebody say? Heads are better than one. What do you think? Write your answer in the chat, in the comments. Just want to hear you guys. All right. So yes, all right, thank you. Lali, Christina, Garcia, Pablo, Jawed, Lady, Olivia. Gosh, you guys, you rocked it. Excellent. 2 heads are better than one. And I don't know why I thought that that picture of the giraffe was funny, so I threw that in there. So when you're talking to somebody and you're like, two heads are better than one, it's basically just saying that it's helpful to have the advice or opinion of another person, so that you don't have to make the decision all on your own, that you could ask somebody else, they can give you their point of view, and maybe that helps you make a better decision. You could say, yep, two heads are better than one. We need to solve this problem. Instead of solving it alone, solve it, ask your partner, ask your husband, your wife, ask your children, whoever, your friend. Two heads are better than one. Why should you ask them? Because two heads are better than one. Then, yes, where was it? This proverb was first recorded in John Haywood's A Dialogue Containing a Number and Effect of All Proverbs in the English Tongue, 1546. And yes, I realize there are a bunch of mistakes in there, and you can look it up if you want. I checked it because I was like, wait a second, was this a typo? But apparently this was actually the name of this document or this story. I don't even know, or this book or this paper. Even with all of these mistakes, that's where this proverb was kind of first found and first recorded. So yes, Gertrude, yes, 3 is good, 4 is confusing. Yes, exactly. The more people, sometimes it gets, there becomes more problems in trying to solve a problem. Too many people might not be a good thing. But two heads definitely is better than one. What about, so for this next one, all right, I'm going to make it a little more difficult. I am not going to give you A, B, or C. I'm not going to give you multiple choice. I'm just going to give you a blank, and I want to see if you can complete it, all right? What do you think? Better than sorry. I mean, if you've heard this before, then, write that answer, write it in the chat, write it in the comments. Even if you haven't heard it, try to put it together, all right? Write what feels natural to you, because I think oftentimes we're unsure, even though at some point you may have heard this in the past, maybe you have read it somewhere, and you just don't remember exactly sure, like, oh, do I know this? Just go ahead and write it. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake here. This is the one place where it is perfectly fine. I encourage you to make mistakes. All right? Better than sorry. Okay, getting some different answers. Yes, the correct one is better safe than sorry. Somebody might say, hey, better safe than sorry. And what this means is it's better or wiser to be cautious and careful than to be hasty and rash and do something you may later regret. So instead of like, if you have to, maybe you have to get somewhere, and you can either fly or you can take the train. And you think of like maybe there's a plane strike or something. There's an airline strike, and you're not sure if it's going to be flying. You're thinking, well, it's faster to take the plane. But I know that if I take the train, I'm going to get there. It's not going to be a problem. Better safe than sorry. I'm going to take the train, even though a plane might be faster, but it could get canceled, and then I'm really screwed. So it's a situation in that, the decision that you make is the safer one. It's the more cautious and careful one. Even though the other decision might be better if it works out, you'd say, it's better safe than sorry. Better to be safe than to be sorry. Okay, so it's a good one that if somebody's asking you, two heads are better than one, somebody's asking you for your advice, and they're like, I don't know what I should do. If I do this decision, well, I'm going to get there quicker, or I'm going to get this done faster, or it's going to be easier. But if I do this other one, then it's going to be slower, but I know it'll work. And you might say, I would just do this one. I'd do the slower one. Better safe than sorry. You don't want to regret this, so just make the safe decision. Better safe than sorry. Next one, let's do this one. So now if you guys didn't know that one, now you can use it. This one I think maybe you've heard of. All right, this is something I say to students all the time, or anybody in life. I even say it to myself. If at first you don't succeed, what? What do you think? How would you finish that proverb? It is a Very, very, very famous proverb, a very a very popular one. What do you guys think? Write your answer in the chat, or again, if you're watching this later, write it in the comments. If at first you don't succeed, what do you think? All right. What should you do? And again, there's different ways that I think you could finish this sentence. The proverb is one that you'll hear most often, but again, you could finish it in different ways. So yes, actually, excellent, good job, Catherine Lally, Sul, perfect. If at first you don't succeed, what you would hear most often, people would say, try and try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Or you could just say, or again, first you don't succeed, try and try again. Keep going. Don't give up. Keep trying. All right. So this is a statement of encouragement. You want to encourage somebody who has failed or they didn't succeed to just keep doing it. Don't give up on it. Keep trying again and again. And like I said, I use it a lot. I say it to students because so many times, and I felt the same way when I've been learning Spanish and Romanian, that you feel like giving up. You're like, oh, all right, I'm not making any progress. It's too difficult. Like I'm just going to stop for a while. It's okay to take a break, but I would always say, just keep trying. Don't completely give up on it. Try again and again, because at some point you're going to make it. You're going to succeed. You're going to reach your goals, or that is the best way to potentially reach your goals and what you want to achieve and what you want to accomplish. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. This proverb, I think it makes sense. It was traced back to the Teacher's Manual by American educator Thomas H. Palmer and The Children of the New Forest by English novelist Frederick Marryat, 1792 to 1848. Again, this is information you don't really need to know, but just so you happen to have it, in case you're out one night at trivia and somebody asks this, then you'd be like, oh, I know where this proverb came from. So again, I would encourage all of you the same thing. If you are you're learning English, you're trying to improve your skills, you're trying to practice your skills, even if it feels like you're not making progress or progress is slow, again, if you don't succeed, just keep trying, all right? Keep reading, keep listening, keep watching our lessons, keep writing to us in the comments, in the chat. Keep hitting that like button so that we know that you guys enjoy these lessons. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this lesson on English proverbs, that you understood them, and depending on the situation, that you can go out and use these proverbs in conversation the next time you're having a conversation. Most of the time, they're used in speaking. It's not often you would see it in writing, unless somebody's writing a dialogue, if they're writing a conversation. So again, this is more for speaking, for conversation, or you might hear it listening to a TV show or movie. So please, please, please like and share the lesson with anybody that you know who's trying to practice and improve their English skills. Write to us in the comments. Let me know, which proverb do you like? Which proverb did you learn? I just want to hear from you guys. And again, you can join us right there. These social media classes, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, right here at YouTube. Thank you, Lali, Olivia, Gosia, Wafi Arman, Sasi, Uyen, Ismi, Molly, Amano. Thank you, Sajin, Adriano, Thibault, Gertrudis. I'm trying to sorry again if I mispronounce names. I just try and go through this quickly. But thank you guys for joining me. Keep an eye out for a next lesson. Not sure when that will be. I know this was a random Sunday lesson, but with the end of the year approaching, there's a lot of end of the year craziness right now, but keep an eye out. Thank you guys for being here with me today. Hope you enjoyed the lesson, and I will see you next time. So long.